Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we are doing another mansion build. How exciting. This one is a modern mansion that I found on Pinterest and it looked challenging, so I was like, yeah, let's try build that. It took me about 5 hours in total. The video is quite jumpy. I tried to edit it down as much as I could. If you do not want to watch the entirety of the video and just want to see the screenshots, I think they're at like 45 minutes. I want to say 45 minutes, I don't even know how long this video is now. But yeah, they're at 44, 45, I think around there. If you want to just skip to the end and just look at the screenshots, feel free, I won't be offended. Thanks for watching up to this point and the screenshots if you do that. Originally this house was on a different diagonal. There's lots of diagonal elements to this build, but when I say different diagonal, I mean that in the original image that I was drawing it from, that I was building it from, the pool would have been on a straight and then these 3 pillars in the front would have been on a diagonal, but because stairs don't work that way in The Sims, I had to do it this way instead, which made it harder because my brain took forever trying to figure out the orientation of it because it was different to the image. But we get there in the end. It takes me a very long time to do the actual building part of it, and then I didn't know how to decorate it when I got there, so I walked away and came back to it on another day, decided to decorate it then. So everything's very choppy because it's all different segments of build and it's very different from what I'm used to building. I wanted to challenge myself and I still do not have Get Famous, still bitter about it, but it is sort of in mind. Like when I was doing this build, I wanted it to be a mansion for a celebrity or a like upcoming celebrity type thing, and the storyline I've gone with in the end, which we will see more towards the end of the furnishing rather than towards the beginning, because I kind of didn't know what I was doing at the beginning. But it is a young sim and I've made the family, so they are the Ibarra family, and the main sim, Xander Ibarra, is a musician and he is a music producer and he's like getting quite well known in the celebrity scene, so he's getting high up in the celebrity status in my mind, because I don't actually have Get Famous to do that, but once I do I will just make him famous quite quickly. And he has his own like recording studio on the lower floor, which you will see much later on in the video, and I made it with the things I had to hand in the game currently, because again I don't have Get Famous, so I don't have the like video recording station and I don't have the like music production station that's in that, so instead I've sort of makeshift my own sort of thing, and he's got a computer desk in there and the DJ booth, and then he's got like you'll see it later, but there's glass windows, and then on the opposite side of glass windows is what looks like a recording studio with instruments and a microphone and a little stool in it and stuff like that, and there's posters everywhere. I'm trying to make it look like it was sort of like soundproofing material, but I don't know if that worked. Well, you can let me know when you see it later what you think. And then the other part to his story is that his parents passed away when he was quite young, and he was raised by his grandma, who also lives with him, and so do his 2 younger siblings, who are both teenagers. They are twins. I think my cat's trying to play and I'm not playing with her, so she might make a lot of noise in the background whilst we're recording this one. And also there's loads of traffic noise and I'm really sorry about that, but I'm still at the front of the house. But anyway, back to the Ibarra family. So we have, I believe her name was Danica and his name was Devani, I think that's the name, I could be wrong, but it's something like that. Anyway, and she is into fashion and sort of like the style influencer quite thing, but she is a teen, so obviously she can't actually have the job, but she's like working towards that career as she gets older. And then Devani is a sort of geek, but he also likes sports. Like that's sort of the thing him and his brother connect on, is like video games and sports. Because like the sister and Xander, the older brother, they sort of like have the whole creativity thing and the music thing together. So then he has like the video game and athletic side with Devani, his brother. And then they have the grandma, who is called Stella, and she sort of like raised them, and then as Xander has gotten higher up in his career as a music producer, those noises are the cat under the desk. I apologise, I'm not 100% sure what she's doing. I think she's trying to sit in a box, you know, I fits, I sits kind of situation. So anyway, Stella raised them, and then as Xander got higher up in his celebrity status and in his music career and could afford a nicer place, he bought this and moved all of his family into there. So his grandma lives with him, so there's a room that's sort of, it's still nicely decorated, but it's like beige, even though she's not like a beige type character. She's quite colourful, but it's sort of like, you know, a traditionally, I don't want to say traditional because it's not, it's still kind of modern, but it's a bit more monotone and not over the top, because she doesn't do personality in her room, she does personality in her clothing and herself kind of thing. She's not in there very often. I also furnished it off camera with a bunch of pet stuff at the very end, so in the screenshots you'll see some pet things, and that was just because if anyone else downloads this and they want to have pets in their game, because lots of people like to have pets in their game, then there's the option to have all that stuff, or you can just delete it because it's not like in really invasive places. I've kind of just dotted it around as I've saw fit. So there's like, I think a litter tray at least one on each floor, and like random cat climbing trees and some random beds and a random scratching post which is disguised as a tree by a palm tree in the garden, and a feeding bowl and all that kind of stuff, and a little toy chest thing. There's nothing for kids in this house because I wasn't building it with like kids in mind. It was 2 teens, a young adult and an elder. Like when I eventually got to the actual realization of what I wanted the storyline to be. So that's kind of why there isn't any kids stuff. I mean, you could edit the teenage rooms to be more child friendly if you wanted to, or toddler friendly if you wanted to change this up to be like, you know, a celebrity couple with young children or whatever, feel free, that's cool, I don't mind. It was just my storyline in my head was this, and I tend to have a storyline, and if I have a storyline I furnish better, but if I don't have a storyline I'm kind of like, what do I do? So you'll notice that like the main bedroom, I'd say it's masculine, but it's not really. I think it's what people would class as more masculine style in general, because the colour schemes are orange and blue, but my favourite colours, so not masculine in my mind. But it is sort of more like, it's like not overly flowery and pictury and fluffy and warm. Like I tend to do more feminine style things. It is very much just like quite sharp edge type masculine, like bold colours, not loads of random bits of furnishings in. Like he's got like his bed and a nice rug that goes with it, and then he's got cool industrial lighting sort of hanging down either side of the bed by the little tables, and the tables, side tables, are like the ones from the fitness pack, the ones with the like, they've got like a glass bit in it that almost looks like sedimentary rock when you look inside, or like water with sedimentary rock inside. I don't know, you'll see when it gets there, but I thought that looked pretty cool, so we went with that. There's quite a lot of fitness stuff in this, which I didn't realise until I was making The Sims to live in it, and I was like, oh wow, yeah, I've used like a ton of fitness items, which I didn't really think I would, but I did, so that's cool. There isn't a rock climbing wall in there though. I mean, there could be if you want, but there isn't. So on the very bottom floor there's like a massive games area, but not like just video games. Like there's like a video game sort of seating area where there's also a karaoke machine, and then there's the dartboard and the foosball table, and even one of those big arcade like video games, and the Don't Wake the Llama table in sort of like quite an open space, which also leads out into 2 different outdoor areas, like this little outdoor area that I'm working on now, where there's a bar and a little like seating area. But you don't see me put the seating area in because I was sort of taking the screenshots and like, this place looks kind of empty, so I added to it, but it is in the screenshots, so you'll see towards the very end. And there's like a little seating area, a little bar area there, and then there's the games room inside, and then as you go into the back garden there's more of a sort of party area again. That one of the lot traits is a party house thing, or whatever the party one is, I can't remember what it's called, but I just thought he's young and he's into music and he loves dancing, like they're 2 of his traits. He's, you know, dance machine and music lover, and he's also got the composer aspiration, I think is a composer, or like, what, you know, the musician aspiration thing. And ooh, 1 second. Okay, so random interruption there. There was actually noises outside, very loud, hopefully not all in the recording. I'm also moving my microphone right now, so sorry if there's any disturbance there. I'm gonna take a sip of coffee because I've been talking kind of non-stop for the last however many minutes, like 8 minutes. And I've been in miserable today, in pain and things, so that's fun. And I'm going to the doctor's tomorrow, yay. Also fun times, obviously everyone loves doctor visits, don't they? But what I was talking about was the house stuff. This is the games area, this party area, it's party house. I also gave it the lot trait of sunny aspect because you get like energetic and inspired, moodlet and happy, and I feel like they're quite a happy little family. I mean, obviously there was sad times when they lost their parents so young, but like the grandma's always like tried to keep it homey and nice, and even when they had like absolutely nothing, she'd always put the kids first, and they had like a great life being raised by their grandma. So they're a very happy family, and even though the two teenagers probably fight a lot because they're twins and one's a boy and one's a girl, and you know, there's gonna be fights with teenagers anyway, not like punch-up fights as in like arguments, because it's just how it is, because it's all like, you didn't get me, blah blah blah, and obviously she's gonna be a hormonal wreck like I am today, relating so much to that idea, sadly. So there'll be all that going on, and he's not exactly going to be free of hormones because he's also a teen. But yeah, so happy family, so that happy vibe makes sense. The energetic because of the whole into sports kind of thing. Like I think Xander, his traits are dance machine, music lover, and bro. So he's like into sports, watching sports, playing sports, doing fitness, all that kind of stuff, and parties. So that was his personality. And then his brother Devani is a geek, and I think he's a geek and athletic. I think those are the ones that I gave him, I'm pretty sure. And then Danica is an insider and creative, so those are their traits. And I think Stella, what was Stella's? I'm trying to remember. I know she was erratic because I quite like the idea of like as she's getting older, she's, you know, going a little bit cuckoo sort of thing, which isn't like great. Obviously it's a sad thing when that kind of stuff happens, but I kind of think like she's a little bit of a sort of loose cannon anyway before she got older and started to get a bit slower and things like that, act a little bit different and strange. So I thought that'd be quite fun to have a bit of a kooky character in the house. And she is family oriented. And another one I can't remember what that one is though. It may pop into mind, it may not pop into mind, so I can't exactly tell you what that trait is. But yeah, so they all, oh wait, is it foodie? I think she might be foodie because I was gonna have it like she always does really good home cooking and stuff. So Xander sort of got the kitchen designed for his grandma to use because he knew that she'd love to do like cooking and baking and stuff. I thought that'd be quite cool, and maybe she'd go into like doing random little cooking vlogs or something because her like teenage grandchildren and young adult grandchild might be like teaching her about all the technological age and stuff, and she might be that kind of grandma who's into it and wants to learn more and do more and be involved in it, because she's quite a cool character, Stella, so I kind of went with that idea. There's pet stuff everywhere, so they may eventually get a pet, I don't know. I kind of think like that I feel maybe Stella would want like a crazy dog kind of thing, but then maybe Xander's more of a cat guy is sort of what I'm thinking. So they might have to have both, and then, you know, hilarity and insanity ensue with the animals clashing and whatnot, or maybe they'd be the best of friends and it'll be super adorable, who knows. I'm making it all up as I go anyway. I cut out a bunch of the landscaping after this. This is just sort of to show you the initial struggle of landscaping, but I think it actually turned out quite pretty. I was quite happy with how it looked, because in the image that I was sort of inspired by, it was very much just like succulents and there wasn't any extra foliage, which was very difficult to do with this sort of tiered section that I've sort of created here, because you can't actually lift up the terrain with the half walls and the walls, like it just doesn't work. So that's a bit annoying, because if that had worked it would have been beautiful and worked fine, but instead I had to do very foliage rather than sparse, which is what it was initially meant to be. But I'm actually very happy with how this turned out, because it's very different from what I'd normally build. Like the last mansion was obviously a very Tudor style one, which again wasn't something I'd done before, but it's very fun, and I quite like decorating in the opulent sort of more traditional oldie fashioned style. I find that quite fun to do like quirky stuff like that. So doing modern and sort of, it was sort of like modern mixed with a bit of the jungle adventure type stuff, because I felt like the family are sort of like, I'd say like Caribbean descent and that kind of stuff. So like that's why they have like all the bright colours and things, and like the things that they wear, and they're quite like fashion forward, and they've all got cool hair. Danica has like blue, like light blue aqua dreads because I just thought it looked cool. And she's quite inspired by her grandma's sort of quirky out there fashion sense, and you know, all of those sort of trends that shouldn't be coming back, like the 90s are coming back right now, and obviously the 70s and 60s came back the last couple of years, and they're all going to amalgamate together to make some sort of monstrosity outfit type style. So that'll be interesting when that actually comes to fruition, because right now it's very much the spaghetti straps and denim, which upsets me, but we won't talk about that. We will move on from that. I'm already in pain today. I don't need to be in mental remembering the visual horrors pain as well. I don't really know what I'm talking about, so I'm sorry and I apologise for my random ramblings. I take forever to figure out the floor plan as well, because originally when I'd done the floor plan before I designed the family, I had like 2 massive master bedrooms, and I was like, this kind of doesn't really work as a mansion if there's only 2 bedrooms in my mind. I feel like, you know, you should have more than 2 bedrooms if it's gonna be worth, like, I think it's like nearly 400,000 to buy this house, so I feel like you'd need more bedrooms than that for it to be worth buying. So I end up making it have 4 bedrooms, and no one has an ensuite bathroom. There are 2 bathrooms on the upper level, 1 on the middle level, and 1 downstairs by the gym, like on the lowest level. So there's enough bathrooms for everyone and stuff, and they all have bathtubs in, so if you have like dogs and toddlers and things, it's fine. But I just, the way it worked out, you know, one ended up with a master bathroom, which I don't think this family would mind, the one I've done for it, because they're not from sort of like posh, snobby, very high class background. They are very much down to earth, always shared everything kind of thing. So the fact that there's 4 separate bathrooms at all is probably amazing for them, because they probably all shared 1 bathroom before, which isn't easy when there's like, there may have been 5 of them at one point. I haven't really figured out what happened to the granddad. I haven't really figured out what happened to the parents. I just know that the parents have passed away and grandma raised them, but granddad may have helped and now he's gone, and I don't know what happened to other grandparents, because typically you have 2 sets, or you know, so not 100% sure about the entirety of the background, but you know, it was a storyline for me to work off of, so I had an idea of how the heck to furnish any of this. But yeah, it's quite cool though, like, and as I said, it was very different, pushed myself out of my comfort zone kind of build, which I was quite happy to do. Took a bajillion hours. The video was super long because I couldn't figure out how to edit it any less without a bunch of stuff being missing, really. I mean, I'm sure there's stuff that I probably could have edited out that I have missed, but as you can see, it's very jumpy. So I edited out quite a bit, and I move around a heck of a lot because most of the time I was just looking at it like, what am I supposed to do with this? They also have a home theatre, and I don't think I mentioned that bit. So they've got like the recording studio with all the soundproofing, and then the room next to that didn't have windows, so I was like, what am I going to do with this room? And it's a home theatre because I thought maybe they're really into films as well as a family, and I don't know, maybe the grandma used to be an actress or something. I have no idea. Obviously she wouldn't have because she's not rich, but maybe she wanted to be an actress when she was younger. That's a typical dream of a lot of people. But yeah, so I imagine they're into video games and films and all that kind of stuff, so they have like their own little downstairs cinema thing. The living room upstairs on this floor, like where the dining room and the kitchen is as we're building it now, doesn't have a television because I didn't feel like I needed one, because there's a massive cinema room, and there's also the downstairs games area which has a big TV, and then the youngest, remind me, I'm just making gibberish up now. the teen boy has a TV in his room as well for playing video games like on his own with his friends, because you know, he probably would want that. He wouldn't always want to be in the family area kind of thing. And I'd imagine like if he had a bunch of friends around that they'd all want to go up to his room and play video games, so the family could still have access to the downstairs television. Not that any of this matters because it's like my brain thinking in a super realistic actual world kind of sense, which, you know, it isn't because it's The Sims. and you can do what you want. But this is just me explaining my thought process to you. You get to see here a little bit more of landscaping, but I don't film the whole thing. It jumped, as you can see, and look, it's finished. It's beautiful, it's magical. Eventually there is a succulent wall there in the screenshots. I didn't film it because it slipped my mind at the time to even decorate that area. Except for a bar, which you see at some point, and then they've got like this outdoor eating area, they've got a grill and a seating area and a like hot tub, because the pool's at the front, and I was like, well, probably like a party section at the back with a hot tub, maybe be quite cool. You could add a dance floor if you wanted. I didn't, even though I made 2 dance machines. It probably would have made sense for me to add a dance floor, but I just didn't because at the time it slipped my brain. Not thinking very great when I was doing this. I think I started building it originally at like 9:30 at night, and then finished building it the following night about 11. Not that I spent that entire time building, obviously. I built for like 2 hours, stopped, and then built for another 2 hours and finished it on a separate night. But yeah, there was like massive gaps in time where my brain changed opinions, and that was a cat jumping around, and now she's gonna climb on stuff that she shouldn't be climbing on. Thank you. I've been trying my best to keep her entertained and play with her. We got her like one of those cat wand things, and she absolutely loves it, but I just don't have the energy that she does. I feel really bad, but I have been playing with her quite a lot, so. But she's still bored. She really wants to be outside, but she's not allowed yet for like another 3 weeks probably, so that's gonna be fun for me to deal with a petulant teen cat who is miffed because I also haven't sorted out all of my catification in my house that I want to do. I have big plans for lots of shelving and stuff for her to play on and to climb on and scratching posts and stuff. I just haven't got round to it because I'm still actually painting a lot of the rooms, so I can't put shelves up until I've painted everything and we've got the floors and stuff in, so that's fun. Here's the cinema room. Ta-da! There's like a popcorn machine, a coffee machine, and an ice cream machine down here. It's a bit of an extravagant place. I apologise if you download this house and your Sims spend a ridiculous amount of time making ice cream and popcorn and coffee down here, because Sims tend to do that. I also didn't put a dishwasher in there, so I might put that in before I upload it to the gallery, because I haven't actually done that yet, so we're okay on that score. I think I ended up putting carpet in this room because I just thought, like, sound dampening again for like if you're watching a film, like there was this which I was trying to do and I was like, nah, it doesn't work, so then I just fill it with carpet, and you know, it'd make the whole room darker again if you switched off the lights to have a dark carpet. Here is a garage which does not work as a garage because we do not have cars, and in there I have like the bubble blower and a poker table because I thought like this is kind of the shady stuff that they've got tucked away because it's a party house kind of vibe again, as I said. This is the gaming karaoke area sort of thing, and yeah, and another little bathroom there. Wait, do I have more bathrooms than I thought? Maybe I do. I have 5 bathrooms. I will have to go back and relist that on the thing because I didn't realise I had 5 bathrooms. My bad. So here's a bubble blower and cards table, and I also, towards the end, add in a bunch of art stuff in there. So I put like a graffiti spraying wall and phone and an easel in there. I also put the 2 garage doors. Speech is going well. I put 2 garage doors in there, the ones that you can paint on or graffiti on or whatever it is. I've never really used them, but I just put them in there, the blank ones, so you can put your own stuff on there. Rather than put the ones from the decorations that already have painting on. There is a random thing of graffiti on one of the walls as well because I thought it would make more sense to show that that's happening. You may have seen before that there was foliage in that little bit that is now a small fountain area, but I just wanted to sort of bring a cohesiveness of there being the pool at the front and water elements at the back and the side of the house, so that's why I've added those in. And just put some random fountains in. I don't even know what fountains I picked because I haven't even looked at it in play mode to see what they do, so sorry about that. I sort of leave the kitchen till the end. I know I did some stuff as you've already seen, but I go back and completely change the wallpapers and some of the furnishing because I was like, I kind of know what I want to do now. So I do keep the blue scheme, but I add like pops of yellow into it because the dining room and living room both have a lot of orange in them, and then hints of blue and yellow, which again is sort of like the Caribbean colourful jungly adventure-y type vibe that I was going for, because I just thought it looked cool. I also should have added a fan in here. There's a lot of little things I'm noticing now as I'm going through them, like I could have added that and that would look cool, so I might add them before I upload it to the gallery. I know that I forgot to put a bin and a dishwasher in before I took the screenshots in the kitchen, so I added them, but I've realised that I should add one downstairs in the cinema room as well. I changed these tiles eventually because I do like these jungle adventure ones, but it's just very monotone and didn't quite fit with the rest of the house with the colourfulness. I wanted to keep it black though, because it's like, you know, sleek and modern and kind of masculine again, and I mixed the cool kitchens and spa day cabinets and counters together because they looked quite cool and quite good together. And this is a little coffee table from Fitness Stuff. I'm surprised I've used it because I've never used it before, and I was like, oh, this looks quite good here. Here's a little outdoor seating area. Oh no, we've skipped across. What am I doing? Everything's just going everywhere. Oh, I'm doing rugs. Okay. I quite like the dining room. I was quite happy with the colour scheme of that. It was all based off of that window seat because I had orange walls, and then I found that window seat and I was like, ooh, I could do like an orange wood table and then the light wood sort of chairs and rug and stuff, so it's worked out quite well. I'm very happy with this house actually now that I'm looking back at it. Not to like, you know, boast or anything about my own work, but I am. It's a very nice house. I'm very looking forward to actually playing in it because I haven't done that yet. I have not play tested it, but there isn't a lot of things close together for them not to work, if that makes sense. Like I haven't overly cluttered it, and there's a lot of space because it's a big house, so I'm pretty sure everything should function perfectly fine because there is no reason for it not to. The only things that get move objects on are like plants and stuff that aren't interacted with anyway, so I can't see that being an issue. And as I say, I tend to build houses so they are playable rather than like cluttered to look beautiful, which is a shame because I would love to make them look super beautiful and very unique and stuff. I was quite happy with what I did here. I sort of made my own potted plants with these pots from the Jungle Adventure stuff and then just random plants that were in the game. I think those two are both base game, maybe? I don't know. But yeah, I quite liked the way that looked. One of them was Spa Day, those sticks was from Spa Day, I know that much. Random rooster, not sure why I put him in there, but he kind of fitted the colour scheme, so made sense in my mind. But yeah, and I put all those pictures up of sort of places maybe that like their grandma travelled when she was younger with the granddad, I don't know, something like that. I tend to always put those cluster of pictures from Dine Out in, the ones where it's like, you know, like the boats and the bike and the little scenery from different places, because it just looks nice. And this part I built in the dark because I was trying to get lighting that I liked to fit in all the places, and I often forget to go back into daytime after I've started building in the dark. So this is one of the many bar areas. I say many, there's like two, but you know, that's more than most houses that I've built have, because I tend not to put bars in, but it's a party house / family home kind of thing. So yeah, but I do hope that you guys like it too, and I hope that anyone out there watches this video. I know there'll be a couple of people who watch it because they are like the regulars who I often get comments from, and I'm very appreciative of. So thank you very much for those people who have stuck with me even when I go like MIA for very long periods of time, because I tend to do that a lot, and I am sorry. But I'm hoping to do more stuff. Like I want to do a Christmas house build soon because, you know, it's nearly Christmas and that would make sense. And I want to do a wintry snowy cutie build, which is all like cabiny and nice, because I haven't done something like that ever. Maybe is kind of, which is bad. But yeah, I will be trying to do a lot more building to improve my skills and also give me a bunch of houses that I can add into my own game, because I don't like some of the EA ones. No offense to EA, it's not their fault. They are limited to whatever pack it comes with and base game, so they can't always make it super awesome. But I can make it fit my game with the packs that I have, so I will eventually get all of them done, and maybe upload a save file which is the normal builds, because I was working on a fairy tale save file which eventually, like in a billion years, will be finished. But I could also do a normal one, I suppose, with a bunch of builds that I've done, and a lot of them are probably quite quirky and odd, because it is just when I'm sort of thinking, how can I push myself to do things that I'm not used to doing? And then stuff like the Twisted Terrace happens, and like the Tranquil Lagoon house, which are both on my channel, and one's like half underwater house, which was just fun to mess around with, and then the other one was a weird half diagonal cantilever thing, because I wanted to try build a cantilever type house on a diagonal, and it was hard but fun. So yeah, there are a lot of random builds that I have that aren't very cohesive, but yeah. So anyway, back to what we're doing here. So this is where I try to make 4 bedrooms, because it wasn't working for me with, basically I did that massive, those windows there where it looks like stones, but like the little gaps are actually glass in the black there. I made a feature wall on the front of the house, and then I had to sort of build with them in mind, because they are 2 squares wide, and even though I have move objects on, which means I could have, shut up, outside, means I could have sort of edited it around it as much as I wanted. I didn't want to do that because it would be a bit glitchy probably, so I kind of tried to avoid that. Which, shush, everyone, I'm trying to record and you're being really rude. I'm very sorry for anyone who's listening and hearing all the traffics. Eventually I will be at the back of the house, and I will have double glazing eventually in the future as well, so sound will be dampened hopefully by that, as we currently only have single glazing and I am freezing in my house. Yay, winter in England. But I decorated for Christmas. That's something I've done this week. I'm sorry about the noise that you can now hear, probably coming from my own hallway downstairs, but yeah, we decorated for Christmas and we got the Christmas tree up, and it's all super amazing and lovely downstairs, and we went a little bit like over the top in some ways. We haven't gone like over the top in the entire house because we don't have the money to, but we would love to do that. We have done quite a bit of decorating and made it quite childish and fun, because that is the best part of Christmas, and picking out the tree is the other best part of Christmas for me. So we did that together, and it's mine and Sean the boyfriend's first Christmas in our new place together. Woo! So we wanted to make it look nice, because we're probably not going to be able to afford to do a lot around the Christmas season. And like present wise, I've asked for Get Famous, so yay, I'll have it by Christmas. Fun times. Only like a month late than everyone else, but you know, it is what it is. And then he's asked for like Destiny DLC for his birthday, which is on the 20th, and then on Christmas he's getting Arc DLC, which then I will be getting on my birthday in January, so I can also play, because you know, we tend to play that game together, so it would be a bit annoying if only he gets the DLC and then I don't get it. I don't even remember what it is. I think it's like Extinction or something, and there's lots of big bossy monsters just roaming around the place that can't be tamed and all that kind of stuff, which sounds great, but I prefer taming animals, so maybe not so great for me, but we'll see. It'll be fun to play anyway. It'll be a laugh. But yeah, so I just have to deal with boring, old, not updated to the fullest Sims right now. I don't even have my first pet stuff still, because I didn't have the money when it came out, and kind of didn't want to get it when it came out. I mean, eventually I want it to be a completionist, because it's a habit to complete the Sims games. And also there are a bunch of people whose like saves files that I would like to play in, because I think it'd be quite fun, and they use it. And I wanted to make a hedgehog sanctuary, because I did that hedgehog rescue day sort of thing, and I plan to go back and do more work with the hedgehog rescue here, so that'll be quite fun. But so I thought it'd be quite cool to make like my own little hedgehog rescue in The Sims, but I need the My First Pet stuff pack to do that, so future build whenever I get the money to splurge, or there's like a super amazing deal where it's like £1 for the game pack, or the expansion, what is it called, stuff pack, that's the one, and then I'd be like, heck yeah, I can afford that. This is the main bedroom. It's kind of small, but it has its own little mini balcony area. He has beautiful views of the pool and things, and it's very nice, I think, still, and decorated nice. And there you can see I changed the tiles to look a little bit more like modern-y, industrially look. And then here's the orange and blue scheme that I end up putting in here. Based mostly off the bed and the rug. I changed the side tables to the fitness ones, and these are like the cool dingly dangly lights that I decided to do as bedside table sort of things. And as I say, it's quite minimal, his room, because I don't really put much decoration. I do like a picture above the bed from Seasons, and a dresser with some knickknacks on top, and a chair, but not much else, because he's not going to be spending a ton of time sitting in his room. Whereas his like teenage siblings probably will spend a bit more time in their rooms, so that's why they've got a few more things in there, like desks and computers and whatever. But I just put the essentials into his room, and the same with the grandma's room. I think the grandma's room is the only bedroom that has a laundry basket in, but as you don't necessarily need one for each room of the house, I didn't bother because it was just going to be a hassle fitting them in anyway. You can add them in if you like. I'm sure you can find plenty of spaces to fit them in the house. There are various ones, there isn't just one in the entire house, there's one on each floor, because I think that's sort of the like minimum requirement, is like one on each active floor of the household, so it collects all that kind of stuff. But yeah, there's only 4 of them anyway, so there's 3 baskets in total. That should be fine, right? I think it might even be 4 baskets. I might be lying, I don't know. Not that it matters. So this is Danica's room, where it's sort of like a purple and black theme, and then Devani's room is a blue and black / grey kind of scheme. Again, I kind of went based, sorry about that noise, based around the bed and the rug that I chose. So each room pretty much follows that kind of pattern. And then the grandma's room, originally when I was designing it, sorry about all the noises, originally when I was designing the grandma's room, I kind of just went bland because I was like, maybe it's just a spare room because it's a party house and his friends might stay over. But then when I was making him and Cass and his twin like teenage siblings, I was like, wow, we could have the grandma and that'd be really cute, because I've got in my head that Xander is like a really good, kind sim, and that he'd have a really good reputation because of like coming from quite a rough background without his parents and being raised by his grandma and stuff, that he would do a lot of charity work. Maybe one of his parents passed away from an illness and he does a lot of charity work to raise like awareness and research funding for that. Ooh. And like his grandma and stuff being like all really helpful, and having sort of, I spilled coffee on myself, is why I said oops. It's cold now though, so that's okay. Not great for me though, because I prefer hot coffee, so I will have to figure that out in a bit. But as I was saying, so his grandma with sort of like maybe showing elements of either Alzheimer's or dementia kind of thing. Maybe he'd want to raise money for that, or for like some sort of age concern, or age, like we've got age concern and age UK and all that kind of stuff, and the Samaritans sort of thing here in England. I don't know what necessarily that there is in America for that kind of stuff, but it's sort of like charities that help elderly people who may not have family to help them out, or who like their family needs extra support and kind of stuff like that. So I thought maybe he'd raise charity for that kind of thing as well, raise charity for like orphans, and do like YouTube streams, well, SimTube streams or like whatever the Sims version of Twitch is, streams, and do like music charity things and stuff like that, like, you know, like charity concerts and gigs and things like that. Like that's the kind of idea I have for Xander when I do have the game pack now, expansion pack, that's the one. Like he'd have a really good reputation because he does all that stuff. He might be a party boy, but he's not like a bad boy. He's just, you know, loves life and is really grateful for where he's managed to get to with the support of his family and that kind of thing, and wants to give back to like his fans and the community and his family. So I had all of that in mind, and then that's why I was like, oh, it'd be so cute if his grandma lived with him and he looked after her because she looked after him when he was growing up, and like she could help out with the 2 teenagers because they're probably nightmares. Was where my brain was going with that. So this is her room. It's actually quite cool. I quite like her room. It sort of has almost a hotelish vibe because it is quite neutral colours, but I still think it's quite comfy and warm and nice. And I thought like she'd be into yoga with the granddaughter, so there's like yoga mats, and he has a balcony that has just sort of the spa day massage chairs and massage table on, so maybe they all get treated to some sort of like little spa times where someone comes around and does the spa treatments, and more stuff going into the garage area. I think I'm actually coming up, I say I'm coming up to the end, and then I look down at my recording and I realise I'm like approximately 7 minutes, 10 minutes away from the screenshot section, so quite a bit more talking for me. Yay for me and you poor soul who's listening, if you still are. And if you are, well done for reaching this far in. I don't even know what we've talked about by this point. I say we as if you're here. You're not. I'm talking to myself, to a screen. Feel like I'm talking somewhat to the cat, but she's ignoring my existence right now because she's miffed. So I'm gonna pretend that I'm talking to something or someone. It's the only way to get through these kind of situations if you're not used to, if you don't know about how it feels to record a voiceover or a video in general. So now we are doing Devani's room, and it is the blue scheme, as I said, and I keep jumping around because I'm finding random little decorations. I'm like, oh, that'd look really good in this room, that'd look good in this room, in this person's room, and stuff like that. So I did put a bit of messy clutter in both of the teenage rooms because I thought, you know, they're teenagers and sometimes you're a bit cluttery and messy when you're a teenager. It's a phase I definitely went through. Now that I have my own home, I'm a bit more tidy. It's like the house is still nowhere near what I want it to be, but once it's all finished and decorated fully and organised and I know where everything lives, we'll be much more on top of the tidying. I'm not bad at it, but it's, you know, it could be better. I don't have a wardrobe, so I have a basket, or I have 2 baskets of laundry, which is clean, that just sits next to my bed, and I like rummage through to find clothing. So it's not the best situation. Looking forward to having a wardrobe and actually being able to put stuff away. The 2 little balcony areas here, very small, so I wasn't 100% sure how to decorate them, so I did just put like little seating areas, and at the time I didn't really know that Devani was getting the other balcony. It kind of just worked out that way, but you know, I don't think that his sister and his grandma are going to be that fussed because they still have access to the other ones. And yeah, it's not like there's anything super exciting on their ones, it's just like seating areas. And then I realised I had massive hallways that I needed to put some form of decoration in because they were quite bland. So the hallways are actually, in the screenshots you'll see that that's where a lot of the pet stuff tends to be, I think, on each floor. I have managed to like intermingle it into different areas of the household to make it make sense. But I think there's like a pet bed and scratching post and like cat trees and stuff in the hallways quite a bit because it just fitted there and made sense. And I put them in last minute because I hadn't designed the thing originally with animals in mind. So again, the sort of like the blue, reddy, orangey sort of scheme carrying on into the hallway because I imagine it's a set of his favourite colours, maybe like black, red, blue and orange are sort of his like colour scheme, and he has that like all over the house, and here I was like doing my best to use Move Object on to make things look pretty and interesting and different. He also has a lot of paintings that are to do with musicians and music and stuff because I never really have a reason to use them, and it made sense in this house having him be like, you know, a musician and his music production room to have a lot of images to do with musicians everywhere. When I put that alcohol cabinet in there, or juice cabinet in The Sims, and gave it the orange light in the background, that's sort of when I came up with like, oh yes, complementary colour to this sort of like greeny minty blue kind of aqua colour thing would be a yellow or orange, so we could start to add in that sort of thing. Just to make it a little bit different. I tried changing the ovens and things and I was like, no, they just don't look right. So went back to how they were originally. But yeah, I didn't change the lighting properly in a lot of the rooms because I do often go quite ham with the light fixtures and make sure that each room has like unique ones or ones that fit the scheme or whatever, but it's a modern mansion, so I kind of felt like this like plain saucer light, spotlight type things kind of actually work in that sense in a lot of the rooms. The ones where it doesn't make sense, I've done my best to change. And I forgot to mention when I was doing the music production room, I added quite a few little things that I thought would be quite cool. So like you'd see like there's weird lights that I've put throughout the thing, but I'd have them in my mind as like they'd go red when he was like recording, so people would know not to go into that room, and like he'd know that the recording equipment was running whilst he was like in the recording section, like the music section. And like vice versa, for if other people are in there and he's producing it, like everyone would sort of know what's going on, was the idea of that. I then added a basketball hoop because I was like, him and his brother really like sports, so there's this random door to nowhere is what it feels like, but it made sense and worked. This plant moves as well eventually because I put a rug in. Did I put the rug in the screenshots or did I put the rug in after? I might have put the rug in after, but again, I just kind of wanted to fill things up. But I think we're coming up to the end of the video, so I'm going to say thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please feel free to leave a like or comment down below, letting me know what else you'd like to see, what you enjoyed about this video, like, sort of like, you know, nice criticisms if you're going to be critical, like, be helpful with your criticism, like, don't just be mean. And yeah, so we're in the screenshots. So anyway, thank you very much for watching, hope you enjoyed, take care of yourself guys, be kind, and bye bye.